Like, so it's Hump Day, Wednesday. Good morning. Want to send out some good, positive energy, guys. So today is Wednesday, middle of the week, Hump Day. Remember that we're goal-oriented people. We're at our goals down at the beginning of the week, and we keep pushing forward the Avanti way, moving forward. So halfway through the week, let's focus down on our goals and keep pushing forward to make it to the end of the week. Having said that, I wanted to hop in today, keep up my compromise to be doing this morning walks, talks, and get a little bit more, more of a connection going on. I'm getting to, I guess, not get to know each other, I guess, in connecting in this way. So today I wanted to talk about, I finally finished my book, right? So I wanted to get into the book that we did deals below. It's a blueprint, kind of the blueprint to navigate the Miami pre-construction world. Um, so the book should be coming out next week. It's already in publishing, right? I'm going to have the book available in Amazon, Audible, Kindle. So it's going to be, you'll be able to find this book pretty easy. But I wanted to get into why did I write that book, and I would just but basically the bottom line is I felt like I needed to give back. Right, I've been in real estate over 30 years, and I wanted to write something to contribute and add value to to our community and to people that are seeing real estate from the because at the end of the day, everybody has something to do with real estate. You got to buy a house, you got to live someplace, you got to move. Right. I've been focusing in pre-construction in the last 3 years. I think pre-construction, especially in Miami, right? I think we had a couple of things happens. Events always trigger things. So we had the tragic thing with the collapse of Surfside that created for us to really take take notice of how we were building in Miami, right? The codes, the inspections. So that created a whole new set of rules and new codes and new milestones, structural inspections for the safety, obviously, because what happened there was that's really sad thing to see a building collapse while you're so that also created, and we had COVID, so that a lot of people just moved. Remember, the state of Florida was open the whole time. That attracted a lot of people to move down here. And then we had a lot of headquarters companies also moved down here. So number one, we got a new set of new ruling building codes. We have a new set of milestones for these buildings to we're up, right? We also have people moving into the state of Florida. I think if you Google, and please do Google how many people move into the state of Florida, you're going to see it's about 1,000. It goes from like 990 to 1,100. It's going to vary daily, right? But it's around $1,000, 1,000 people on average that are moving into the state of Florida. And that's according to the DMV, which means driver's licenses, people that actually physically change their license to the state of Florida, right? So now we have new codes, we have people moving in, and Miami's built out. So then obviously we got to start going up, right? Land became, I think we're like in New York in 1960, Manhattan. That's my what I want to kind of put that example. So we're built out. So I got into the world of pre-construction, and basically that's what you see was fuel everything in Miami. If you look at the inventory, anything over 30 years, it's just not selling, and people do not, banks are not lending to that. And a lot of these buildings, sadly enough, they're not going to pass inspections, or it's going to be too costly to put them up to date with the new codes. So therefore, a lot of them will be knocked down, and you'll be seeing new towers coming up, which was called pre-construction. So I noticed I got myself into the pre-construction, and I realized very hard, not very hard, but very quickly to the pre-construction. It's a different way of selling. Real estate is broken down to like let's say resales. You got pre-construction. I realized of information out there, and so we need to create I needed first of all myself get required to know more about the whole pre-construction process, right? The whole how does it work? What are the phases? How long does it take? How do you negotiate? Do you not negotiate? I mean, there's a lot of different things that were variable because it's very different than a resale, right? Every developer has their own contract. Every building that goes up has a purpose, a reason why it's up. And the brand. So I need to get myself. So I started, hustling, visiting every project, started talking to developers, started talking to sales directors, contract coordinators, salespeople, to try to get a deep understanding, a deep understanding of how this worked, right? And on this, once you understand it works, you then create the right expectations. You then create. It helps you navigate. What's happening. You're not on the blind. You're not on the kind of reacting because pre-construction has a lot of challenges. So pre-construction, I'm not going to say that it's harder or easier to sell. It's just that you have to develop certain different new skills for it, so you can better serve your clients and guide, because at the end of the day a realtor, for somebody who's buying, is somebody that's going to walk you through. We are there to add value to the transaction. We are there to add knowledge to the transaction, and we are also I think there to actually take a lot of the stress, which is still very stressful. When you're making these purchases, and there's a lot of insecurities, there's a lot of what's happening in the market going to fall. Well, especially when you're buying pre-construction, what's going to happen when my building is done? You're buying into the future. So, and you also you're buying things that you're buying things, and basically hasn't built. It's an idea, it's a proposal. You get renderings, you get a whole different stuff, right? So I noticed that that was myself, right? I then created a community, which is the Avanti Waiver pre-construction community. I think right now we have 720 members that have joined that community. And to join the community, what I started doing trainings, putting up videos, and training a little bit of, because the idea was to take, train the agents and train, myself, or just share what I have learned, um, and to try to help the agents get better skill sets for them to protect the whole more do the whole more buying process of pre-construction, uh, more understandable, more pleasant, and because let me tell you, working with an experienced realtor that knows what it's doing makes it a lot easier. So I started to realize that there was a big lack of information, and there's also lack of guidance, right? So I saw an opportunity there, and I mean, I'm right now one of the top producers when it comes to pre-constructions. At this point, I literally could tell you I've literally gone to every pre-construction project that's in. I know what's on the pipeline. Uh, I created, look, I also, if you go to my webpage, gtran.com, there's a whole section of new development, which is every new development there. That's another thing that I noticed was very hard to find. I mean, where do you find all the pre-construction um, projects in one place? You would have to search. It's not like the MLS, and they're not in Silo. It's not. So that was another challenge. So I created a place, a website, which I put all the pre-construction that you'll see there, right? So that probably motivate me to, after giving all the classes and talking to all this stuff, I realized that I had some knowledge that I wanted to share, right? And so I decided to, about 3 months ago, to write this book. The book's about to come out. It's like basically like a blueprint. It's not a textbook. It's a book about my story, and it all goes into a lot of, it's like a little like a blueprint to you uh, navigate this pre-construction, uh, the buying process. The idea is that once you read this book, you're going to have a kind of more of a clear understanding from both sides, from the developer side when they're building the project, from the sales team who's trying to sell the project to you, to the end user, right? That might be for to use the property to live on it, or an investment, or an Airbnb, right? And then for realtors. So the book goes in and it gives you a bunch of details behind the scenes and what you could expect. A lot of times we think uh, like buying in pre-construction, there's no negotiations, and there is. I mean, I'll give you kind of an example. It's like, when you buy a new car, you walk into a dealer, you see a sticker price, you pretty much you think that that's the price, and you have a little wiggle room compared when you're buying a used car. That when it's a used car, you bid and you move back and forwards. So there's a lot of things that I wanted to address in this book, and it's my way of giving back. Right, this book should be out pretty soon. um, Hoping it should be out by next week, and then I'm going to start obviously do the promotion for the book and other things that come around with the book. But having said that, guys, I really, really want to send some positive vibes. Let's be focused, right? I think, listen, it's a great day to be alive. Be positive. Be mindful, right? Be mindful. Live in the present, right? Be aware of your thoughts. Look, we all have thoughts. We have about 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day, and those thoughts, all of them are not going to be positive. They're going to be negative and stuff. But you have the capability to say, look, I accept this, I accept that, because you create your own reality in your mind, right? And then whatever you're thinking, that's what you're going to manifest in your world. So be very, very mindful of what you're doing. You know, see yourself moving forward, see yourself where you're at. I mean, this is like a milestone for myself. I didn't think I was I never thought. I started seeing myself writing a book about a year ago, uh, trying to understanding, and here I am, just about to do that. So having said that, guys, keep it real. Today's Wednesday. Let's make it happen. Let's make deals, And if you think you're stuck in a hole, just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Remember, showing up is very important, and go to the project if you're doing pre-construction, right? So having said that, I'm gonna let you go with a great, great day. It's a beautiful day so far. Can't believe it. I love walking up in nature. So thank you for walking with me today and sharing my thoughts. Please, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. That's, that motivates me, and the comments motivates me, because I'm also tying in the channel with like the knowledge. So I'm putting a lot of videos that are educational videos. I'm putting videos that compare different lifestyles, but it's all kind of real estate related. And so having said all that, have a great day. Thank you.